Hi guys, this is a lighting and equipment guide for broadcasters. Right here we're going to go ahead and show you the equipment you need to get you started. Now the first thing you're going to need is a computer. Now with that being said, I do recommend 2.4 gigahertz worth of processing speed because that will help you to process the information coming from the cam much more easily, and it'd be a much smoother frame rate from the camera itself. Now, besides that, most computers these days do come with at least 300 gigabytes worth of hard drive space, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. But make sure you have at least 4 gigabytes worth of RAM, and those should all come standard in most computers these days. Now, the second thing you will need is a webcam. This is a very popular camera for webcam models. It's a Logitech C920. It has excellent low light adaptability, and it's an HD camera with 1080p processing power. Two optional pieces of hardware you can have here are a wireless mouse and a wireless trackpad. I recommend these because when you're camming, sometimes you don't want to be near your computer, or you're maybe doing a show away from the actual computer, and these help with comfortability. All right, we're moving on to the next piece of hardware, which is the tripod. The Logitech C920 and other webcams have the ability to screw onto the top of the base, which makes it really easy to get other angles, especially when you're camming, so it makes it really useful. The next thing we have here are lights, stand lights, adjustable, where we can actually put together a three-point lighting. Now, it's really important you actually have an umbrella with the lights to help filter the harsh light so you aren't having a blaring hot heat on your face. One important part of having three-point lighting is having the proper lights. Now, I recommend simply getting a simple bulb from a local hardware store. You don't need anything particularly fancy. Something cheap, economical, or even something that's even low power. But whatever the case is, once you have a three-point lighting in place, you should be able to have the adequate light you need. All right, we have our cam beer here, ready for action, ready to get on. We have a three-point lighting set up right now, actually. We're going to pan backwards to see what's happening. Now, as you can see, the lights have been put into a triangular formation. We have one to the left, one to the right of the cam beer, and one directly in front of it, just to make sure the light has saturated the entire area. So when you're on cam, your camera doesn't have to work nearly as hard to focus on the light, and can deliver a much cleaner quality. Now, with that being said, that means a clearer video, a higher frame rate, and a better processor. So that way you have just a better show overall. This tremendously increases the HD video quality in cam rooms. Now, with this lighting format, you're able to do better shows. Now, as you can see, Cam Bear actually has light all around him. He looks quite clear in the camera right now. And that's what you want when it comes to the quality for camera, especially when you're in a cam show. Now let's move back and check something that's kind of important. Now, I recommend you can actually change the atmosphere in your room by what kind of light you use. Now, lights come in temperatures, either warm or cold. Currently, the lights we're using have a cold temperature. It has kind of a blue hue to it. Now, other lights have almost a golden hue or maybe a brown hue to it. Now, by changing the lights you use during your cam show, you can actually affect the atmosphere of your cam room. Now, with that being said, the three-point lighting is not necessary. You can actually use two, either one on each corner directly in front of you, or just to the side of you. Now, if you have any issues with actually getting the three-point system together, I recommend you can just use natural light you have here and just one light. That will also be adequate for a cam show. Now, I want to touch on another point regarding the backgrounds of your cam shows. I usually recommend using neutral colors or something that's attention grabbing, something that increases the character in your room and makes it more appealing.